What's up everybody, welcome to Money Management channel. My name is Andrei and today I'm gonna be doing an update on MMTLP and FINRA saga.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up.
And guys, for today's video I have a really amazing news. I will show you that we have new ally that potentially might help us to push our case drastically forward, and I will show you that this ally should take a look on a bigger picture of the MMTLP problem, and I will show you what I'm talking about. On top of that, I will show you some updates from the litigation processes. We have several most recent filings, and this might also be very important for MMTLP shareholders. And before we dive deep into all of these, guys, if you want to know more about technical analysis, if you want to receive trade calls pretty much on a daily basis with a risk-free 100% money-back guarantee offer, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel and join my Patreon account. And guys, you've seen many of my trade calls, all delivering strong returns in just hours. Now it's your turn to trade smarter. Join my Safe Haven Patreon tier, built for traders who want consistency, structure and real results. You will get a detailed plan to protect your portfolio, monthly one-on-one Zoom sessions with me and private Discord access with all trade alerts, lessons and exclusive updates. And here is the best part. If you don't earn more than your subscription price within 30 days, you will receive a full refund, no question asked, as long as your trading account balance is at least $2,500 and you've taken all the recommended trades during the period. No excuses, no fine print. You profit or you don't pay. Here are just a few of my trade results from the first half of October. But don't wait, this offer is available for a limited time only. Once the spots are filled, enrollment will close. Join today and let's start building your edge in the market. And let's begin with this news. We are on MMTLPresources.com and this article was published just a couple of days ago and it's titled "Wonder Still Rallies Behind MMTLP Army in Battle Against Regulators." And here's this article in details. Let me quote you just a part of it. We have a new ally in the MMTLP community, and Vandersteel is ready to expose it all. Ian Vandersteel is an American conservative political commentator, podcast host, and activist known for her work in alternative media. And here's the tweet from Anne herself. She published it basically several hours ago. Let me show you this in her wait a second, Twitter account. I believe that, yes, here it is. This morning I started a big dig into the MMTLP story. I'm already finding players who are known short sellers involved like Anson Fund. The evidence definitely points to conspiracy to defraud investors by financial agencies and brokers who are regulated by those agencies. This is shaping up to be very explosive and yet another glaring example of how agency bureaucracy is designed to protect their industry insiders, so they take all the profits without the pain, leaving the honest investors holding the bag, laying bankrupt and demoralized in their evil wake. I will expose it all. The people are pissed. It is that ultra-bullish moment in history, as our founding fathers remind us in the Declaration of Independence. And on top of that, guys, well, if you don't know who this person is, she has a very high number of followers on Twitter account. She is information war correspondent. She has her own website, and well, she's a very famous person. She is well known as a journalist. She lives in Florida, in the United States. And yes, she can help us to shed more light to our story. But guys, I want to see this update from different perspectives. And yes, we have a lot of reposts of her tweets from other community members. Right here you can see Eric Byrne published this 8 hours ago and Curtis reposted. Let me quote you this in details. Annie, you are already standing so tall for our MMTLP fam, fiercely, fearlessly, and unapologetically for what's right. With truth as your compass and a voice that carries far, we are beyond grateful. It would be our honor if you wore our badge. You've more than already earned it. Thank you from all of us. And here you can see Curtis reported the tweet that Anna published just 15 hours ago. She made this small, tiny, I would say, video, and let me show you this in details. So wait a second.
You're right, busy brands, and that's why we're going to get accountability. If there's anything we've learned now, and I think we fully understand, is that agency government is really agency bureaucracy by criminal corruptocrats engaging in a RICO criminal syndicate that extends beyond America, by the way. It goes around the world. And these bureaucrats, these corruptocrats, these criminals, in fact, have been colluding and conspiring with people in private industry and public corporations to steal and fleece. And we're going to get to the bottom of it. I know you all have done the lion's share of the work, so really I'm going to come in and spotlight, assemble, and we're going to start to push this out far and wide. I'm actually on my way to Mar-a-Lago. General Flynn has an event tonight for America's Future, and you can better believe this is going to be the top of my list of conversations with a lot of people there. So I hope you guys have a blessed day, and I look forward to our catch-up call on Thursday.
So guys, definitely it is a very good news that another person just stepped in order to help MMTLP community. And yes, for now the narrative is pretty straightforward. She wanted to ask tricky questions to all of the authorities who potentially might be involved in this story. But I believe that within just several days or weeks, she will find out that this problem is much more complicated. And let me show you first of all the tweet from George Palacros. In response to her to Ann Vanderstein's tweet that she wrote on December 15th, at the same day he wrote this. And your fearless deep dive into the MMTLP situation today is exactly the kind of truth-seeking journalism we need, exposing the ties to short sellers like Anson Fund, regulatory failures by FINRA and the OTC at minimum, and the synthetic and the systemic protection of market insiders and at the expense of retail investors and the issuers Metamaterial Tech and Next Bridge Hydrocarbons. Lots of people have been fighting this for over 3 years, and your spotlight is a game changer. If there is any way this community can assist you research, digging up additional information, sources or connections, just say the word. Everyone is ready to help amplify the truth and push for real accountability. Keep shining at 1 million candle power light. And definitely, guys, I believe that this appearance might help us to push our case drastically forward, because Ann Vanderstein has a very good connections basically with a lot of people who has a lot of power, not only on the US stock market, but in the United States in general. And definitely it is a very, very good news. And at the same time, here you can see that Rob Carter, another person quite, I would say, well known inside the MMTLP community, who also tries to spread the information about MMTLP army through his podcast, wrote this. So Rob Carter wrote, "Time to shine. Anna is in the game." And Jennifer Vetrano, let me remind you that she still has one of the active lawsuits, and she's a member of so-called 1209 community, wrote this. "Good, maybe we can see all sides of the story now. FINRA, SEC, DTC, OTCC, brokers, executives, and social media influencers. Ask questions, Anna, and don't be swayed by weird narratives, MMTLP. And she also added this, and if not, reach out to my favorite YouTuber, Andrei Nefedov. Thank you, Jennifer. It is very good to see this tweet. And guys, you might wonder, what is she talking about? Let me remind you first of this. You know that Mark Basil is an attorney who previously filed a lawsuit in behalf of Anna Trades, another person who held shares, she still has the shares of MMTLP. And during his investigation, he found out that the problem is not so simple, and he started to dig deeper inside the MMTLP saga, and he understands that the problem is not just a one-sided sword. And he, in response to Jennifer Vitrana Twitter, and Jennifer Vitrana wrote this: Mark Basil, I see you, lol. Everyone knows I'm right. The minions will preach that this SEC FINRA all day. What about other parties selectively reporting media? And she responded to basically her own tweet that I covered just a minute ago. And Mark Basil wrote this: MMTLP had the chance to go after Sabi and Anson early on. They opted to not do anything about it, even though I explained to them what dilution funding was going to result in. Dilution funding is what caused all the problems. It's a breeding ground for spoofing, shorting, and naked short selling, and then agencies' responses to it. Period. I'm just a spectator now in this whole cluster and prefer to stay that way. The markets and that community are so dysfunctional. It's almost comical at this point in time. And he also added, it's a culmination of years of frustration. It's really not directed at anyone, just an overall attitude I have now with the entire community. Hope this gets resolved for you guys. And Jennifer Vitrana published this GIF and she wrote, Mark Basil right now, as everyone else is stressed, lol. So guys, let me show you that, I have to admit that the problem is much deeper, and Mark Basil also mentioned about the dilution funding, and Jennifer Vitrana has quite opposite opinion to the, let's say, majority of MMTLP shareholders who pursue non-litigational path to the resolution. And to be honest, guys, I support Jennifer Vitrana and every other people who filed lawsuits against the wrongdoers or potential wrongdoers, because it is because of their efforts we have more substantial steps towards the resolution. And I want to say thank you for your efforts and for the efforts of other MMTLP community members. Let me show you quite interesting detail, and that proves that the problem is much more complicated. So Semi-M wrote this in response to Bailey DeVroy, and Bailey wrote, make it tradable was the only way for people to make money looking back, since they never were going to sell and pay dividends when then lost the assets. And you know that for some opinions, the board of directors of MMAT intentionally made the merger with the, let's say, with the ability to trade these new shares. And this is the evidence of this statement that was made by John Burda. Let me show you, let me play this tiny audio for you.
There were some mistakes made in that deal, unbeknownst to anybody, quite frankly, that allowed them to trade it. And, you know.
But to be fair, I mean, that had never, ever happened before, right?
No, it's two market makers got together on the gray sheets, and the only reason they were allowed to do it is because of one word that was in the preferred, and it said transferable.
Oh, wow.
That was it. So, and they also had a CUSIP number, and we also used DTC to distribute it.
So guys, as you can see, John Burda mentioned himself about this just one word, tradable, and which means that the question for now is the following: was it made intentionally, or it was just let's say mistake that was made unintentionally, and that led to quite substantial consequences for the entire MMTLP community. On top of that, guys, take a look right here. Again, Sam wrote this. According to them, they made it possible to trade in the first place. Once it started trading, they told people how to buy it. But young bull knows this. I guess it's still a good narrative for folks who want to find the naked short for all of eternity. And here is this screenshot. Again, this is the same exact audio that I just showed you, and here is the tweet that was written by John Burda himself. Just in, expect some volatility this morning, another 550,000 shares borrowed, soon there will be none left. And Stoker asked him, where can I buy more? Fidelity cut me off. And John Burda wrote, with Fidelity you have to phone it into to the fixed income desk. You can sell online, but only buy via a phone call, last I heard. So, as you can see, John Burda himself taught to retail investors, at least one of them, how they can buy MMTLP shares. And well, it is quite weird, but if this was made unintentionally, why in the world John Burda tried to promote this story and not try to stop this entire saga by trying to remove this ticker symbol? And for some opinions, he had all the chances to do so. On top of that, guys, I want to show you some promoters who previously was the person, you know who this person is, who was very active back in 2021 and 2020, and who promoted MMTLP shares extremely heavily. Here is this person, and if you rely on his opinion, and if your financial decisions is based on the opinion and on the narrative of this person, well, I have nothing to add to this story. On top of that, guys, here is another tweet that was written by Ann Vandersteel. She wrote it on December 15th, and she calls all MMTLP, all GME investors to help MMTLP community. And she published this video of 1.5 minutes long. I don't want to play it for you, but I want to pay attention to this tweet that was written by Ocelot on December 16th. And he wrote, in order to basically give Anne more information, and you can see that George Palikors, you can see he wrote in his tweet that if she needs any information, if she needs any assistance, MMTLP community can help you. And this is the help from Ocelot, and he published several tweets and several links, and he posted this. Here are some good articles explaining MMTLP from someone that isn't a mouth-breathing moron. Additionally, I've attracted a complaint charging the former executives with fraud. And he published several tweets from Cubico on Substack.com, and I remember these articles, guys. This article, wait a second, these articles were published back in 2023, and it was quite interesting articles, but at that moment I thought it was a misleading information. But the deeper I dig into this story, the more I understand that it is a real MMTLP story. And guys, read these articles by yourself and make your own conclusion. Who is the wrongdoer, and how should we behave in this case, and how what we can do basically in order to achieve our main goal, to see the resolution. And here is you can see the tweet. Here is the Twitter account of Ocelot at default user T. And you can also find his Twitter account on Ann Vandersteel tweet that she wrote on December 15th. It is quite a substantial number of responses, but I believe you will find it. And you can read all these articles and the official statement of SEC and make your own conclusion. But for now, let's switch to another news that is related to our litigation processes. Keycap wrote this. It is an update in Oxor versus Securities and Exchange Commission case. This show cause order serves as notice to inform plaintiffs that this action will be dismissed without prejudice as to any unserved defendants unless plaintiffs effect within 7 days of the date of this order or show good cause for failing to timely serve defendants in accordance with Federal Rule of Civil Procedure. And here is the answer that was written by CPO 5 hours ago. He wrote, so he didn't serve the defendants again, and now the judge wants him to submit a just cause for failing to serve. This is the second time this has happened in this case. This case stinks to high hell. First, it's a lawsuit directly against Metamaterials and NPH, and from what I can tell, only against them, because any basic amount of research will immediately reveal that you can't directly sue the SEC. So the lawsuit in itself is misleading and has nothing to do with the SEC and everything to do with suing the companies. And guys, you know that we have two completely opposite opinions, and CPO is the person who pursues litigation path, but in his lawsuit, he filed this lawsuit against authorities, against FINRA. But Daniel Oxor tries to act differently. He found out that the beginning of this story, the very beginning was made by the board of directors of Metamaterials, and he started to dig deeper inside this part of the community and this part of the saga, and he filed this lawsuit based on his opinion and his knowledge. Let me quote you further. So, I pointed out a major flaw in this case, because Oxor was claiming the company's assets were fraudulently transferred before even the reverse merger, even though the judge in that previous bankruptcy case clearly ruled the assets weren't fraudulently transferred. He gave me a silly wink and never said anything else. From what I understand about this case is that Oxor is trying to nullify the entire trading event of MMTLP because the assets tied to MMTLP were so-called fraudulently transferred and should have never been allowed to be sold on the market. What happens to our money if MMTLP gets voided? What happens to our money if NBH goes bankrupt fighting these fraudulent transfer accusations? Why isn't FINRA not even so much as even mentioned in this lawsuit? Why not any brokers? I don't know. So, I believe that he has all the rights to make this, to ask these questions. But if someone has an opposite opinion, everyone is free to do what they want to do. And in general, guys, you cannot do anything with NBH. It will be bankrupt because this company has a lot of obligations and they don't have any assets to cover these obligations. They don't have any activity to cover these obligations. That is why I believe that regardless of Daniel Oxor's actions, NBH will be bankrupt, and if you try to preserve this company in order to receive some kind of payments through dividends, guys, there is no dividends, there is no assets that might be the assets that can cover these dividends. The only people who benefited out of this are the people from the board of directors, and you can find this information in these articles that were mentioned by us a lot. You can do your own conclusion and investigation, but please be unbiased in this case. And I believe that one way or another we will see some kind of resolution. And probably this resolution will not satisfy all parties of this story, but at least the majority of MMTLP shareholders will receive some kind of payments. So I think that's all information that I want to provide you. If you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel with notification bell. And see you guys and girls next time. Bye.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium